Welcome to Indie Game Month Day 22. Today we are going to create Turnip Boy from Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I have to admit, I've had my eye on this game for a while, but I haven't had the chance to play it yet. There's just so many awesome games out there to play, and I really only play video games on the weekends since during the week I'm always working on clay videos. But I hope someday soon I'll be able to play Turnip Boy. When I was watching some gameplay of this game, I saw the first boss in the game is the King Pig, so I decided on creating this boss battle scene. I guess it's been a while since I created a boss battle scene, and I was in the mood to create something more of a map rather than just a character. Going around the whole outside, we have a nice little brick pattern, so I'm using my X-Acto knife to get this pattern into the clay. It's one of those patterns where you don't really have to go by a specific pattern, just kind of make lines everywhere, and the more random it is, it kind of looks better. Now we need our trusty toothbrush for some nice little texture. I love using the toothbrush because it's such a simple tool and it's so effective, and if you have an extra laying around, you have a nice new clay tool. I feel like it's pretty obvious and I shouldn't need to say this, but don't use the same toothbrush for your teeth that you do for clay. We have some little patches, maybe they're some type of sand or just a lighter color of dirt. I took the outside brick color and mixed it with some yellow just so it didn't blend in with the bricks too much. Now we are going to create the King Pig. I think the choice of characters and bosses in this game is just hilarious and super unique. There's a lot of different fruits and vegetables, but then there's just some sort of weird stuff like this. With a little bit of a darker shade of pink, we can add on the spots. And here is our spotted pig. But it's missing a face and pretty much every other detail that makes a pig. So let's start with the nose. And now we have some little pointy ears. And a nice little pigtail. Now this pig is angry and wants to eat you because you're a turnip, and I think pigs eat turnips? They eat pretty much anything. So I guess turnips would probably be in their diet. It's funny because this pig became the King Pig solely because he ate so much fertilizer that I guess it mutated him and made him giant. That really doesn't explain the crown though. Maybe all of the other smaller pigs around the farm created it as an offering to him so he doesn't stomp on them or eat them. I feel like this game is pretty heavily inspired by Zelda. Just from some of the aspects I've seen around the game, like these bomb flowers. If you've played Zelda games, this is probably a pretty familiar object to you. After attaching the stems, I gave them a nice little curve, which looks a lot nicer than sticking straight up in the air. Now we will create the star of the show, Turnip Boy. Somehow I didn't realize until after I was done making it, it's basically just an albino Oddish. Almost every detail of it is just exactly the same as Oddish. We have some little blushing cheeks, and now we can create the little leaves on top of the head. We have two different colors for two different reasons. One, it gives a nice little variety, and two, that's what it looks like in the game. I've cut the bottom of these off so they're a little bit easier to attach onto the head. And now Turnip Boy needs a weapon, so let's create his sword. One of my favorite things to make with clay is swords. They don't come up too often in the things I create, but when they do, I have a lot of fun with them. We have some nice little leaves here, and we have a vine that wraps around the whole top part of the sword. It also extends down onto the handle. Now our sword is complete, so let's start working on some hay bales. This is something that I've never created before, but I figured if I used pretty much the same method as creating wood, it would look pretty good, and I think it does. These little dents are where I'm going to be adding this rope that binds the hay together. and now we can get those onto the map. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the king pig became so massive because he ate too much fertilizer. So let's create some ripped open fertilizer bags. I actually can't believe how simple these were to create, but how good they looked. I was originally going to keep it out of this stage, but I thought that it was a pretty important detail, and I'm really glad that I created it because it adds a lot to the stage. This one is going to be completely ripped open, and I created 2 of each design. Let's get those onto the base. And now we are ready to get baked. After baking, let's take our trusty super glue and attach the sword onto Turnip Boy. I think this sword is ridiculously big for his body, but I really don't want to create a smaller one. With a little bit more super glue, we can get Turnip Boy onto the stage. And here it is, the King Pig versus Turnip Boy. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. This is definitely one of my favorites of the entire month. Make sure to check out the playlist at the end, which is updated every day with a new indie game character. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.